Good afternoon, Americans and humans. This is your favorite alien sitting in for Paul Harvey this afternoon on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. Stand by for the rest of the story. Well, the rest of the story today is on biscuits. The story starts in 1930. Well, Carl just got on a train in Seattle, Union Pacific, bound for San Francisco. Late evening. He is living in a time of railroad's golden years. Because the Union Pacific is a nice railroad, and the road from Seattle to San Francisco is plush. You get plush sleeping compartments, plush dining cars, and a plush area to sit around in. He has bought the top ticket, but he's tired and he sits in this couch on the plush area. Next thing you know, he falls asleep and you start hearing the bells. Ding, 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 ding! First dinner call. Ding, 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 ding. Second dinner call. Ding, 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 ding. Third dinner call. Well, poor Carl. He wakes up and he realizes, he looks at his watch. He carries a pocket watch. And oh man, I missed dinner and I haven't had anything to eat all day. So he goes into the dining car and he opens up the dining car. He looks all through it and it's nice and empty and cleaned up. He goes about halfway and he says, "Oh, what's the deal?" And he turns around and he's going to head back to his sleeping car. All of a sudden he hears, "Can I help you, sir?" He turns around and there's the waiter. Still looking great after 3 dinner calls. And he says, "Oh, well, I don't think you can. I missed the dinner calls." And he says, "Oh, we'll get something for you, sir. Just have a seat here and I'll be right back." So he has a seat and the waiter says, "Do you want coffee with dinner, sir?" "Oh, yes, sir. Okay." And he sits there and he says, "Yeah, coffee and cold sandwich." He's thinking to himself. Then the waiter comes in and he puts it in front of him and it's biscuits and gravy. And he starts eating the biscuits and gravy, and the gravy is so good and the biscuits is nice and hot and fluffy and everything. And it kind of lightens him up where the coffee's nice and hot and warm. Well, uh, after dinner, he goes on and he wants to speak to the chef. And he says, "You have really outdone yourself. And these are great biscuits. I hated to put you through this kind of trouble here." Because he knows to make biscuits, you gotta put everything, and do it right then and there. And the chef says, "Well, sir, if I can give you a secret, before we left Seattle, I had done this and put a little bit of the biscuits and the gravy and everything and put it in the ice chest." Remember, this is 1930. This is before refrigeration became standard on cars. It would have been another 10 to 15 years before, because it was the late 1940s before they put refrigerations on cars. And he says, "Oh, and this is your recipe?" "Oh, yes, sir. It's a long time recipe." So the chef was nice enough to give it to her. Most chefs wouldn't, even today. He got to San Francisco, and as it turns out, his name was Carl Smith. He worked for a company called Sperry Corporation, which was a subsidiary of General or Post Foods. So he went to the lady in charge of Post Foods at the time, 1930, gave her this. And within a few years, yes, you know it, Americans, Biscuit came around. We owe a debt of gratitude to the chef on the Union Pacific, which has become nameless since 1930. Carl Smith never divulged his name. He got the credit for Biscuits when it really was the chef who gets the credit. Sitting in for Paul Harvey, this is your favorite alien, and now you know the rest of the story on Bisquick. Good day.